It's so rewarding looking back at my hair journey, just comparing then versus now. Like, I can't be the only one who will find a picture and will just bask in the feelings of nostalgia or just where I was in that point in life. Though the growth of my hair in the past few years may have been noticeable, the relationship with my hair has grown the most, just as I've experimented, worked out what works and what doesn't work for me, and just embrace my texture. And I feel like that's just the beauty of having natural hair in general. This video is for those who are considering growing out the undercut, or for those who may be in a similar stage as me in their journey. Regardless, this video can be used as guidance. Do not compare your journey to anyone else's. Take care of yourself, sleep well, eat right. Your hair is gonna grow. Roughly, it'll only take about 1 to 3 months for your undercut to actually grow out. Though, depending on if you have any layers or if you have hair already like I did, that length could determine how long it takes for the new growth to match the length of the hair that's already been there. Like I said, I've been in my journey for 2 years now, and my hair still isn't even. Of course, like when I do other styles and stuff, I'm able to mask that, so it's not really bothersome, but that's just the fact of the matter. First, I want to talk about stages, and I want to break it up. The first stage is like the first 1 to 3 months. It's probably the most awkward stage. It will definitely get uglier before it gets better. But try not to be too conscious of that, because very rarely does your hair look as bad to other people as it does to you. I just say that for me personally because as my hair was growing out, I felt as if the new growth didn't really complement my facial structure, kind of made my face look a little bit wider and fat. And then when I'd be roaming around and I'd meet other people, a lot of those compliments went straight to my new growth that I was ashamed to show or trying to hide. I also big chopped around the same time that I decided to grow out my undercut. So between those two decisions, I just considered like a big reset in my hair journey. Preceding that, the first 4 to 5 months, I trimmed my hair twice just to kind of get rid of any remaining colored pieces and split ends that I may have had. I'm saying all of this to say that the gap in my new growth and the hair that was already there was slowly shrinking. So if you're concerned with how your hair may look, or if you're trying to keep up your appearance for work, you can invest in other head wraps and head scarves, but to be completely frank with you, it's gonna look kind of weird, it's gonna look rough, it's gonna look awkward for at least those first 3 months. But the key is to just be patient, kind of stick with it, do what works best for you, because from that point on, you have so much flexibility with styles you can do to make it look much more clean. I'm not saying any of these styles are off limits now that I'm showing them to you, but if I catch you with one of these hairstyles, just know that I know where you got it from. On all seriousness, as your hair grows out, experiment it, have fun with it. By around the 3 to 5 month mark, you should definitely have enough hair so that it's grippable to start doing some sort of protective styling. So this is exactly what I did, just because I didn't really know what else to do. I felt very limited. I could definitely do other hairstyles, but because the length discrepancy was so large, it would just look weird. So this next stage, like 3 to 5 month period, your hair is still growing, but for me personally, it literally did not look like it was growing as quickly as I thought it would. And of course, that's because of my curl pattern. Now with curly hair, of course, you know, the longer it gets, the looser it gets. But my new growth was looking more like a 4B compared to everything else. So it really threw me off, but I just stuck with it. I didn't focus too much on that. I just focused on building better habits for making sure my hair stayed fucking healthy. So over the course of time, I just expanded my protective styling, going from just covering up the undercut to doing full out protective styling. And I would switch these up roughly around 2 to 3 weeks. Realistically, you could go for longer, but the more I started to do them, the more that I would actually do it more so for looks, but I'd still reap benefits of protective styling. If you do go that route, try not to do anything too tight or restrictive, because it kind of goes against doing this style in the first place. And plus, you're only doing this, well, for me personally, I was doing it just to aid hair growth and to hide my new growth that I didn't know how to style. I didn't know how to style it, but I still treated it like a baby. 5 month mark, I started to get like a TWA. It was really dry. The new growth was a TWA, and it was really dry, it was really frizzy, and it just did not match the texture of my hair that was already there. And so when I would wear my hair in wash and goes, or anything that would like just expose my natural curl pattern, in retrospect, it never really looked bad. So going to what I was saying earlier, sometimes you just gotta stick it out. It's not as bad as you think. And for the most part, When I see people like growing out their undercut, like in person, I think they look pretty fierce, regardless of what stage they're in. And I think part of that is just because I've just learned to embrace my own texture, so take it for what it is. It wasn't about a year and a half and beyond where I felt comfortable to wear my hair out on a more frequent basis. This is part of just because everything was starting to finally even out. So as everything grew in, I still gradually trimmed my ends. It was more like a dusting, it wasn't a full-on trim, so that gap was still shrinking. For the year 22, I put a lot of emphasis on less manipulation and just sticking with the habits that I know have been working for me, so moisturizing effectively. And I say effectively because think of the number of times where you put a styling product in your hair and your hair feels soft to touch, but it's still, when you look at it, it's still dry and frizzy looking. And that's because it's not moisturized, that styler isn't really going in there to like lock in that curl. Water is your friend, number one. Number two, you've got to find water-based leave-ins that are compatible with oils. This is a great way to actually lock in moisture so that your styling products can actually do its job. But I didn't discover that, so I went through a few rounds of trial and error. With that being said though, I'm really excited to see how this unfolds where I go with my hair journey in the future. I will say, I had to basically relearn my hair. I've tried a lot of different approaches. I've stayed away from chemicals and box dyes for now. So it's definitely a journey, but once you work with it and just stick with it, seeing your hair, your growth, your progress later down the road, it is so rewarding. So regardless of what stage you're in right now, just kind of stick with it, be patient, and just learn to love your hair. Like, at the bottom of all of this, at least take that away. So I want to close the video with a few general tips. These I've said in previous videos, but it's a given at this point. But maybe someone else needs to hear this. So of course the first one is deep condition weekly. Like, this is a must. Like, there's nothing to discuss. You want to start moisture training that new growth early so that it acts right. Once I started doing this and the curls started dropping, that's when the texture kind of like blended in. Scalp massages. I say this because no one does scalp massages. So massage your scalp. Lastly, this is something that I didn't really start doing until I saw like the improvement in just the general condition of my hair, but the pre-pooling and detangling the hair while it's dry or before you shower, that is such a big difference, at least for me. It sounds really tedious, it's really time consuming at first, but now it's just part of the routine. And because I do it so much, my hair is never really in a really bad shape to the point where it feels like I'm ripping out more hair that's actually on my head. So that's what I was saying, build on certain habits with your hair that you know work and just let your hair do its thing. Be consistent, embrace your texture, do not over manipulate, and just enjoy the ride. That's gonna be it for this video. I appreciate you guys for watching. Do not forget to leave a comment. I will have other videos I'm sure you will enjoy on the screen right here. So I will see you guys in my next video.